interested to hear what everybody thinks about it. First, I'd like to hear from each of the kind of panel members. Do you kind of consider yourself vloggers? And if so, what is that to you? Should we start maybe at the end?
Oh no. Kind of worst place. Yeah, I don't know if you consider yourself a vlogger, just living life and just kind of filming it, you know? I don't know if you can put like a label on vlogging, but yeah, it's just having fun. It's like the best fun ever. And then you put a recording it.
Yeah. Oh, can you hear me? You need to. Yeah, I think the cool thing about vlogging is that you kind of just go along and do your daily life, like you live your life and you record it. Like, there's no like, there's nothing forced about it, you know. That's what I like about it the most.
I think of vlogging as like, if you're filming something that's not like, I say this in the loosest terms, I realise I'm about to offend everyone, including myself. I mean, not like those high quality, like, oh, we've been filmed on like big cannons and it's been scripted, we've got a producer and a sound man. When you're filming just yourself on your point and shoot and it's very like choppy and just like, this is us, like, that's what I would consider vlogging, and I think that that's a different style of, you know, camera work, and I would call that vlogging, and I do a lot of that on my second channel, so yes, I would consider myself a vlogger as well, but I consider YouTuber and vlogger maybe different, because on my main channel I do a lot of stuff with a tripod and like the Canon that everyone's got, so yes. Yes.
I think there's like two different aspects on it, because you've got like the vlogging, which is very much like on the go. That's what I consider vlogging, like today, like when you shoot, go. Whereas like planning videos, like that takes a lot of sort of effort to do, so it's sort of two different things. But you're still under the sort of template of being called a vlogger. That's all I have to say.
I agree with you guys. It's the same. So I also consider vlogging when you just record yourself in the streets outside. Not really editing. So yes, I consider myself a vlogger, and I have a camera all the time with me. So.
Yeah, for me, I think that the meaning of vlogging has sort of changed over time. So when I started, because I think vlogging is when the content has to do with what's going on in your life. So sit-down videos, I started 4.5 years ago, and back then you could do a sit-down video doing an update about your life, and you can still do that, but I feel like the kind of daily vlogging format of going around with the camera and actually showing your life has kind of taken over that, whereas sit-down videos have become more produced, more topical, and that's kind of how the separation has occurred. So, yeah, I'm a vlogger.
We're competing against
somebody vlog it.
So I suppose in terms of nowadays, there's a lot of people that we can watch who do vlogging or vlog in their videos that maybe when you guys started there wasn't that many people that were like widely watched that did what we call vlogging. I suppose for people that do kind of daily vlogs or life vlogs, that's kind of a specific format or style. Is there anyone that when they started they thought, okay, I'm going to go into it, but I'm going to go into it like this because I've seen this person do it, or is it something that came from inside yourself? What's kind of inspiration?
I copied Zoella because when I first started, oh by the way, I wasn't being rude then on my phone, I was finding an app from Amelia. I thought it was like, oh, I'll just send my texts. So when we first became friends, I was still vlogging from, I think, my webcam, and I couldn't very well like carry my laptop round on my webcam and like, here we are, in Tesco's. And she had a little like one of these, and I was like, oh, that's how you do it then. And she was like, yeah, you should get one. So then I did, and I was like, okay, well, I watched all your videos with like me in, which were fabulous, of course. And I was like, I'll just do that then. And it's never really improved my technique at all. I just carried on with that. I'm quite happy with that.
Yeah, ours is quite similar, you know, because like we've been doing this for like 4 years. I think 4 years ago we saw Shay sort of was about a year into his vlogs, and then I was like, oh, that's kind of fun.
Yeah.
You know, and I was like, oh, we should do that. And she's like, don't be stupid. And I was like, oh, it'll be fun. And then like, it was like, in the last 4 years, how much has changed, and how like we put out like 30-minute vlogs for like a few months, remember that? And like how and then we started off with like 4-minute vlogs, and you know, we started off doing it when it was just about me, and then I thought I was an idiot. And then you started being in the vlogs more, and then, you know, we got married and had kids, and the kids in the vlogs, and then it sort of evolved with our life, you know? That's how it's changed.
I want to go back and watch your first one now.
Everyone should right now.
I love watching those first ones.
Yeah.
Don't watch mine though.
I think Jonathan's first one, he said, we'll do this for a week and see how it goes.
Long.
So when you first started doing it, was there a point of time where you were making things because you were making it, and then what was it that changed that realization of going, okay, now I'm going to do this, I'm going to keep doing this?
I think it was in a month. You know, we hit a month, and I was like, okay. I was like, you know, imagine I could give myself like 5 years to reach. And I thought like, okay, well, like the shade is huge, and what? Oh no.
Do you need to go do that?
Well, ignore that. But it was like, if instead of like giving yourself like, you know, if I don't get like 1 million views by next week, I'm giving up. You know, I kind of said like, okay, I'll give myself 5 years to get like 100,000 subscribers. You know, and that was like a realistic goal. You know,
She likes the goals. She agrees with the goals.
and that's the way a lot of people, you know, if you're going to do vlogs and stuff, like don't give up after like a couple of days if people aren't interacting. You know, it's like you got to think like intrinsically. You know, you got to say to yourself, oh, I need a long-term plan. You know, and then eventually it will happen if you are consistent with it every single day. People will tune in.
So David, what are your thoughts on that? When was the point when you kind of went, okay, I'm going to keep doing this, or you thought you knew what this was?
Well, for me, I didn't start the daily vlogging format until just this year. In January, I committed to just do vlog every day in January. And so I had that locked in as a commitment to get done every day. And for me, like when I commit to a challenge, I make sure that I'm going to do it. So I thought that it would be this large commitment because it was every day, it was my life. And it ended up being a lot easier in some ways because when you do a sit-down vlog, you have to set aside time for filming, and you need to think of a topic. Whereas with vlogging, it's like, oh, the camera's here in my pocket, I can just kind of whip it out whenever, and editing them is way easier, and so I really enjoyed it. It's still only one of the things that I do, and I only really do it for spurts of time. I have friends who have done it for, you know, years and years, and I respect that so much. But I found that with daily vlogging, with sharing my personal life, I need to take a step back, take a break every now and then I end up missing it, I come back and I reconnect, and that's where I am right now. I'm just like daily vlogging again, so.
It's the thing right now. I think the interesting thing is what would motivate you per video. So when you go into it, do you think of it from a YouTube sense now that you maybe, it might be your jobs for a lot of you now, do you think of it like I have to do something now because I need a video, or I have to collaborate with someone, or is there still that same starting point in your head? Anybody that wants to jump in, like what is the first thing that makes you want to make a video?
I'll jump in with that. When I first started, I just did videos as and when I pleased. So I might have done like 9 in a week and then 1 every 3 months, and there was absolutely no schedule to it. And the difference between then and now is now it is a hobby and a passion that's turned into my like job. So I'm a bit more aware of like a schedule. So I still find the same joy from it, and I'm still doing sort of like getting my ideas the same way. And like I've not gone like, oh, I'm a corporate company now. I'm still like, yeah, some worries. But I'm like, oh, I want to put a video up on Sunday. It's Wednesday now, I've not done one, so I ought to be thinking about when that's going to happen, and just like maybe being a bit more conscious about having like a schedule and format, because I think it's better for your viewers, because then you know what's happening and it's not, you don't forget me, and also you know where you are with things, because everybody likes a bit of structure. I know I do.
So what about Jonathan and Anna then? Because there's both of you involved, or there's a whole family involved. Who gets to say when you instigate or what you film, or?
Me. Yeah. No, I think, I don't know, like, I think the person who edits the daily vlogs is like the storyteller. They're the narrator of the entire story. So if anyone's been watching us for 4 years, you're basically watching my version of our family, because I edit it, so I tell a story. If Anna wants to take the vlogs and edit the vlogs, she would tell a completely different story. There would be no vlogs. Yeah, well, that would be true. You know, but there would be a different story, so whoever edits them narrates them. And what you were saying about, you know, scheduling and time, you know, about a year or two ago, I had this idea that if Neighbours and Home and Away could like be on every day at 6 o'clock, I was like, why couldn't YouTube have the same format? So we started putting the videos up at 6 o'clock every single day. And then what we've managed to do is somehow make the sub box slightly obsolete. So when there is sub box problems, it doesn't really matter, because everybody knows that Secondary Jolie's is on at 6 p.m. You know, and that kind of definitely does work if you create that.
Can I tell you how much that works? So I was at my house the other day. She went, oh, it's 6:15. Can Jones be up by now?
Yeah.
Well, they said, yeah, every day at 6. Every day at 6. I was like, all right, cool, thanks, Zoe.
Which is crazy, because actually I'm more of that kind of like structured kind of a person, whereas Jonathan really isn't. Like he's way more of a fly-by the seat of your pants kind of guy. And I think, like, don't let that deter you.
Yeah.
Like if you are that kind of person, because obviously he's shown that it is possible.
It's like the only thing that's structured now.
Yeah.
In terms of vlogging, I think for me anyway, voice is always a really important thing. So how you perceive what you've made afterwards. I think that vlogging can also turn your voice into, like, help you discover yourself even. What do you think maybe Cherry or Ro, when you started, to how you view yourself now, has vlogging kind of helped you like establish who you are, or who you are online, or do things differ?
Yeah.